Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back in the Worcester. Now, it's been a while since we've been in the Worcester, and you guys know it's gotten a buff recently, and I'll be honest, it didn't really need a buff in my opinion, but just like the Baltimore back in the day, if you're going to buff it, I'll take it, you know what I mean? Does suck when you're on the receiving end of this thing, but when you're playing it, it's absolutely nasty. And we're going to showcase some of that today. But unlike most people, I tend to use a little bit more armor piercing than most. Now, I'm using refill station in this, which is actually something I don't normally do. You guys know I like to run EOP normally, and I don't remember why I had refill station on, but I do end up needing it in this one, as you're going to see. That extra DPM is going to come in real handy. But, yeah. So, right off the bat, we're going to try to push to the left. We've got a cruiser with us, and we also have a battleship behind us. Though I don't think the battleship actually comes this direction. The cruiser most certainly does. And between the cruiser and I, we are going to control this entire flank with our DPM. And you know, there's always something that I mention in these sorts of games where I play like something that can potentially be removed by a particular ship, and that is that it just seems like no matter what happens, the one thing that perfectly counters me will spawn against me every time. Every time. If I'm in a destroyer, there'll be, you know, a radar cruiser or 3 gunboats that spawn across from me. Then you've got when I'm in cruisers, you get the 1 battleships that just absolutely annihilate you right there. Now, here I see the Amalfi, and I'm like, ooh, he's broadside. I'm switching to AP, and then he smokes up. So, can't really do anything. And then Yami's sitting there. I can't take a shot at that Yami. That Yami is in the perfect place to absolutely wreck my day. So, for now, we're just going to spot and keep ourselves from being shot. That's the goal. At least until we get into a position where we can utilize the island to protect ourselves and potentially shoot over if we get a chance. Now you can see there are 2 smoke screens here. One of them is a Mino. The other is the Amalfi. Now you can see I mistimed the radar here. I thought that I was close enough to the guy's smoke screen that I'd get him detected. I was not. The battleship is coming this direction, but there is a Yami over here, so he's probably going to have to be a little bit timid. I guess would be the best word, or at least caution, so that he doesn't get blapped. But as you can see, the guy behind me is unloading on this Yami, and so am I. We're just starting the absolute golden shower on this man. Get a fire in the very first salvo because, I mean, you got a 12% chance to set fire, you get a fire every shot, right? It's just the way it goes. But, yeah, he's going to push forward, which is actually a terrible idea for him. If he continues to reverse, then I'm not going to have a shot. But I can understand why he's pushing forward. He's trying to get spots, maybe be able to shoot something. And you can see, I'm actually going to switch over to AP here in a moment. Sure, we get those fires. We've got the perma-fires going. So I'm feeling pretty good there. You can see I'm trying to hit that superstructure. Because we don't have EOP on, most of our shells are just shattering, which is the issue with this ship, and any light cruiser really, other than the Germans. Pretty much any light cruiser versus any sort of heavy battleship is just that you're going to be shattering more shells than not. So you're not going to get damage unless you get those fires. But we take and switch over to the AP here, and once we figure out where we need to hit on this ship, obviously you don't want to hit an angle belt right now, because you're not going through that. But we're at a sufficient enough angle with American armor piercing that if we can get these shells to land where we want them, then look at the damage that we can put out. There's 2,000 damage, and every 6 seconds, you know, you can put a lot more damage than that out. And then that's when the Albemarle decides he wants to throw down. And, yeah, this guy is going to make all of the wrong moves and all of the right timing. So you can see, I've already got the AP loaded. He's coming around. He's over-angled. So we're going to be blapping this man. Unfortunately for him, he does not have the armor that the Yami has. So even angled the way he is, we're still going to be chewing him up pretty good. As you can see, 2,000 damage there. Every, what is it, 6 seconds. It's literally every 6 seconds we're reloading the guns. Now you can see he is bowed in enough that we're not able to go through the side very well anymore. But he is starting to reverse, so we're going to try to hit that superstructure. You can see when we hit the weak spots, it gets nasty quickly for him. His cruiser just cannot stand up to this kind of an assault. And the worst part for him is just the fact that you can't heal this back. It's all armor piercing damage. So you don't get to heal it back. Now you can see battleships pushing out, and it's a Gross Occurfers that was behind us. And this guy is hell-bent on throwing all of his hit points away as quickly as possible. So I decided that I would come out with him. I have a radar, I have sonar, I'll be able to protect him somewhat. So if we can come out and help this guy, then we are going to be in good shape. You can see Amalfi right there. This is just perfect timing for this Amalfi to get blacked. Unfortunately, he smokes up, but fortunately, I noticed he was in range, so we're going to go ahead and radar that man and let this GK do what he does. And GK, I'll be real honest, dude whiffs hard. He can go right through the bow of this Amalfi, but he does not, and he also just got blapped by that Yami. That Yami just absolutely punished him. But you can see, this guy keeps flipping back and forth between bow in and not. It's like he knows when I switch to AP. Because like every single time I switch to AP, he goes back to being bow in. So I have to switch back to the HE and try to hit him with that. But you can see he's definitely trying to come in and hit this guy with torpedoes. He's going to have to over-angle here, so I go ahead and switch back over to the armor piercing, and we get some shots out, and these are the ones that are going to be pretty nasty. You can see there's, what, 6,400, and then we managed to get the fire kill on him as the GK finally blapped him. But you can see GK's dead. He lost 100,000 hit points just like that. Like, come on, man. You can't just sit there broadside. But I understand why he went broadside, but you can't do it. Now, obviously, we killed the Amalfi, but the Amalfi has some pretty long-range torpedoes, if I remember correctly, even though they're very slow. And these torpedoes are going to kind of screw me over because I can't turn back in. You can see there's a Mino here shooting at me. And so we're going to take some shots back at him. I would love to turn back in and go like towards the right-hand side a little bit. But unfortunately, I just can't. These freaking torpedoes are keeping me out here. And now, of course, I'm getting the engine slowdown because of running along the border the way I am. Okay, now that the torpedoes are gone and we're not detected, I'm going to go ahead and start turning out. Or turning in, I should say. Mino manages to miss all of his shots, and we're just going to turn in. Now, we have 2 bases to 1. Or 2 bases to none. We're about to have a third, so we're about to have all of the bases. We don't have to do anything crazy here. So my plan was to put myself behind an island and get stuck in and just defend this cap. Because I know the Mino is going to try to take this cap. And one-on-one, a Mino versus a Worcester, it's not a win-win for anybody. These are very high DPM cruisers that are guaranteed to kill one another if they get close. And that's exactly what's going to end up happening. Now, obviously, I don't have sonar for a while. You know, I ran it while I had the thing. I don't have any more radars because we use both of our radars. And so, we're not going to be able to see what this Mino is doing. Now, I made the wrong assumption that the Mino was just going to hang back, try to capture the base, and I could go in here and contest, and we win the match on points. It's not that big a deal. I wanted to keep myself away from the Yamato because, obvious reasons, he overmatches my 32mm bow, he will blap me into the nether. And that's just not what happens. You can see I get detected here by the sonar of the Mino, which means he's close. I don't know exactly what the range of the sonar is, but he gets the drop on me, comes around the corner. Unfortunately, he screws up real bad here. He is just sailing broadside, and I commend him for going for this kill without, you know, selling out on torpedoes. However, he keeps pushing in, and, you know, between the two of us, this is not a fight you want to be in any of these cruisers, because you're not going to win. It's a draw every time. You got 2 extremely high DPM cruisers that are capable of citadeling the snot out of each other, and both players just completely counter each other. And so with that trade, well, I'd love to have won that fight and not died, but, I mean, come on. The guy's rushing in, he has torpedoes. He could have torped me, to be honest. I don't know why he didn't try to torp me. If he torped me and then stayed bow in, I'm dead. But he didn't. So we just tried to put ourselves in a position where we could kill him and he kills us. It's a trade, and we take that. Like that is a solid trade any way you look at it. But unfortunately, our two cruisers have put themselves in kind of a pickle here. They're pushing in when they don't need to. Like, they cannot win this fight unless they kill you. Why are you giving them the opportunity? It's a Yamato. There's no reason to. This is one of those situations where you're trying to win harder. You just don't need to. And in these situations at Azure Lane, Baltimore, there was no reason for him to still be there. He could have used the islands and escaped, and he would have lived and all of the things. But when you put yourself in a position where you can be absolutely punished by the enemy, like, there's no reason for that when you have a 600-point advantage. Now, obviously, you could say, well, Spartan, you died to the Mino, so if you lose this, it's on you. You're right. You're right. I can't really say anything because I tried to disengage, but I got pushed. I could have kited away, but I didn't want to because I didn't want to get spotted by the Mino and then chased by the Yami. Now, fortunately, this Mino is actually going to do something pretty smart here. He's got the Yami on sonar, and he's dropping a smoke screen, which means Yami, even if he does come around the corner, not going to be able to do anything in terms of spotting this Mino as long as the Mino doesn't fire his guns. Remember, Mino has like a 6-kilometer smoke firing penalty. And you can see he's stacking his torpedoes, which this can go very well or it can go very horribly wrong. And you can see the very first set of torpedoes completely misses. He's way behind. The second set of torpedoes at least look to be on point, and fortunately for us, they were. But I do appreciate this guy using his brain. He did use the smoke. He covered himself. He didn't fire his guns. He didn't give the Yami a chance to kill him, which is what I was afraid of. He used the sonar ship detection to his ability. 120,000 damage. We get second on the team to the Azure Lane Baltimore. Again, 3 cruisers coming top of the leaderboard with almost 3,000 base XP, or over 2,000 base XP each. So very, very solid game by us cruisers. And let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Did we play it well, or did we kind of flub the ending there? And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.